can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from LoyMachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. Okay, I want to tell you something that happened a few days ago. The gentleman has asked me not to take his name because apparently his relatives, they watch my videos and they don't like me very much, which is not surprising. Okay, so, but I think the guy who did tell me you can mention my name, I think his name is Rohan, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, he said, dedicate the video to me. So, Rohan, this video is dedicated to you. Okay, now, what was the incident? This guy is a client of mine. Okay, he's a client of mine, and his family is not very happy with him that he's a client of mine. Okay, his family is not very happy. And he has had fights with the family, and they're like, the typical stuff like, he's evil, he's tattooed, he looks like a freak, he's a failure, he's the Antichrist. I get different variations of the same thing. Like Muslims, some say, oh, he's the jinn, he's shaitan is the devil, he's evil. Then, Catholics say this guy is the Antichrist. Some of them say this guy's character is questionable, he has slept around with so many women. He does not believe in Jesus Christ. Then non-religious people, they're like, is he educated? What are his educational credentials? He has no formal education. Look at him, he looks like a freak. He has tattoos, he has earrings. Then there are others who say he's sexist, he's a male chauvinistic pig. They say all these stuff about me. Now, there is an element of truth in all of this. I'm not going to say that, oh, this is all fake. No. Yes, I do look like a freak. This is not normal. Yes, I do wear earrings, which is not acceptable in certain careers. Has he slept with many women? Yes, I have slept with many women in the past, and I've not been, quiet about it. I've not kept it hidden. Then about being an atheist and all that. Now this satanic and all that, okay, that's bullshit, because I don't believe there's either a god or a devil. This is all a man-made construct. But then again, each one wants to believe whatever they want to believe. Okay, but then it comes down to the part where the family doesn't like me. Let's say the wife, or it's very common with wives. Okay, wives don't like me. They don't like their husbands, communicating with me. Parents don't like their children looking at my videos, some of them. And then obviously relatives, I don't like this guy, why are you watching his videos? Okay, so what do I think about it, or what is my opinion about it? Now, the first things first is, you can't make everyone like you. Like, for example, forget me, you. How many people like you? Are there people who don't like you? Yes, there are people who don't like you. And no matter what you do, those people are not going to like you anyway. It can be in an office, it can be your boss, it can be whomsoever. There are people who don't like you. Okay. So now, are you going to spend time trying to make them like you? Even if you do anything, they're still going to hate you. Okay. That's number one. So the first one is, not everyone is going to like you. Number two is, if someone tells you that, don't take his advice. Okay. I would like to believe that they are saying this because they have good intentions. It's not because they have bad intentions. They genuinely maybe care about you. Like your parents definitely care about you. Your spouse cares about you. But then, if they are going to tell you that this guy, me, or anybody else is giving you bad advice, then fine, you're criticizing. Then how about you giving a solution? Do you know what is the solution? Let's say, for example, I suggest that you go to the gym to keep fit, okay, to develop a good physique. And the person says, no, this is a narcissistic thing, it's a bad thing, this is stupid. Fine, then what is the solution? If the person were to say, okay, yoga, fine, that's an alternate. That's a different alternate, another solution. Or they say, go running or swimming. Fine. Then, after they have given you the solution, then ask them to guide you towards making that solution practical. Just by saying, no, try this or try that, and then you don't offer the steps to go there, doesn't make any sense, right? Like, for example, there are so many parents who say, no, this career path is crap. Okay, fine. What is the alternative? Show me an alternative and then make that alternative practical. Let's say, for example, there are many parents who tell their children, you need to study hard, get a rank, fine. But now, if the education that you're studying is not relevant to what you're doing or what you are interested in, that can be a problem. Second one is, if it is boring, how do you force yourself to study? That's another big question. And then, if you are not a person who can memorize or have good retention or have the discipline, how do you implement practical steps towards making that, not possible? So you get what I'm trying to say. It's very easy to say this is crap or this is nonsense. Then give a solution. Okay. Now number 3 comes where people generally tell me, Loy, I take your mentorship or I talk to you, but please don't tell anyone. Now, I've told you this in previous videos that there are many people who do not like to publicly associate that they deal with me. Now, initially, when I started my career, I used to take it very personally. I used to feel very hurt and upset. Like, you're taking my services, you're taking my advice, you're implementing all of them, but you don't want to give me credit. You want credit for yourself. I used to take it very personally. And it used to kind of remind me of those painful memories where girls were dating me or they were having sex with me or sleeping with me or a relationship, but they would not want to be seen publicly with me. They would do it privately, but publicly, oh yuck, this guy, who would want to date him? So I used to feel very hurt, and especially when it came down to the part of marriage. Like, imagine this girl who I'm madly in love with, she's having sex with me, everything. But then when I tell her, how about we, go for marriage and speak to your mom and dad, and, oh, Loy, how can I introduce a guy like you? Oh, come on. What will society say? What will people say? And, I've spoken about this relationship where this girl told me on the face, how can I introduce a freak like you to my parents? What will society say? If tomorrow we get married and we have a child, people will laugh at the child. How will the child even hold your hand? What values will you give our child or my child? And that really hurt me. It's like, oh, wow. Especially when there's someone you love and that person tells you that, what kind of father would you be, questioning your values and questioning the character that you have, the integrity? It really hurts sometimes. And especially when the girl can have sex with you and be with you, but is ashamed to tell her friends, ashamed to tell her parents. So I used to take this very personally. And I think it stemmed even further back when my parents, they used to actually tell me, I'm ashamed to tell people that you're my son. My mother used to tell me that. I'm ashamed because you don't get good marks. My father is like, how can I tell anyone that my son has got this? How can I tell him? So as a small boy, I used to feel hurt. As a small boy, it used to hurt me a lot. And those wounds remained for many, many years. Okay, many years. And when I started to do coaching and I used to give good, and people used to still do the same. So it kind of brought back memories. Thankfully, I grew out of it. Okay, I grew out of it. And then I realized, well, they're kind of right, because I do look like a freak. And associating, trying to be a clean-cut image, but associating with someone controversial can harm your career. Like, for example, let's say Bill Gates associating with Jeffrey Epstein has harmed his brand. Prince Andrew with Epstein harmed his brand. Or let's say, for example, someone is doing a business and he's associated with Russia. Today, you can face a bad rap. Or let's say you are friends with someone from Iran or ISIS, or even if you have not done anything bad, it can destroy or impact your credibility or image, and especially in today's social media world. So I, at some point of time, decided, fine, you don't have to associate with me, you don't even have to tell anyone, but I'll charge you a premium for that. And that is where the confidentiality, privacy policy came into being. So that is why today, whomsoever I deal with, whomsoever I'm friends with or enemies with, or even in those early days where I had sexual affairs or whatever, nobody would know who the person is. The only person whom I think everyone knows is that girl who I tattooed here, and I let the name out, but you obviously do not know where she is, which part of India and all that stuff, and where she's at the moment. I would never say that, but I've told you her first name. Okay, so what am I trying to tell you through this? We live in a society where if you're rich, if you're successful, if you're a celebrity, if you're powerful, who wouldn't want to associate with you? Everyone would. But the day you fall from grace, the day you don't have money, the day you don't have power, those very same people who were kissing your ass would deny even knowing you. Okay? So, me personally, I prefer not having such individuals who are ashamed of me in my failure or bad moments and who are proud to associate in my good times. So, whether you're good or bad, I don't want you to associate with me at all, and neither will I associate with you, and it's fair and square. My only relationship with people is you give me the money, job is done. I don't care about anything else. And it's very straightforward. So it's give and take. So even if it's like I go to a prostitute, for example, I go to a prostitute, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, paid the money. You don't have to tell anyone I came to you. I don't have to tell anyone you came to me. We both are happy with our transaction. I keep the same kind of transaction, whether with relatives, with friends, with business acquaintances. You don't have to tell anyone. We both had an objective. We achieved that objective. Thank you very much. Let's go our own way. Now, I'm very sure you'll think, Loy, what about your wife? What about your kid? Now, I've told my wife, if you want, you can tell that you're married to me. If you don't want, you don't need to say. You can even put your single on your status. But she proudly associates that she's married to me. In fact, when I got married to her, you'll be surprised to know this, my wife actually wondered whether I would inform the world that she's my wife. Because, now here's something, I never did that with my first, second, and third wife. And the reason I didn't do it was I wanted to be a playboy. There's no other ways today. I was not in love with him. I wanted to have fun with other girls. So I never put it on social media. But after I got married to her, I decided Playboy days are over. I'm going to mention it explicitly. Well, the thing is, there are still girls who still don't mind even after that. It's not that just because I'm married, I can still get. That's the thing about money and power. Okay, now, I don't want to move to another point. So, with my wife, why she was wondering whether I do that? Because her boyfriend before and her husband, when they had married her, they refused to acknowledge her as the partner or spouse, because they told my wife, or her ex-husband told her, that he was ashamed of her, that he didn't find her beautiful, he didn't find her attractive, he didn't want to show. In fact, he was ashamed of her. His mother found her ugly, his mother found her dumb, they found her dumb. He wouldn't even introduce her to his friend circle. The only time they would introduce is when they would come to drink or play cards or smoke, and just to serve food and alcohol. This is my wife, that's it, and put her back in. So when she had told me this, I was like, okay, fine. And I told her, like, I'll put your photograph as my wife. And she said, oh, let me put makeup and let me look beautiful and use app. I said, nothing doing. You're not going to ever put makeup. I don't want you to put any makeup at all. I want you to be natural. And we are not going to use any app filter. She still uses, by the way. On my iPhone, iPhone doesn't have any filters and all that. I said, we'll keep it natural. I want you. In fact, if you check my Facebook, there are many ugly photographs of mine and hers. Really, just normal. Why? Because I don't want her to feel that I'm ashamed of her. I'm proud of who she is. We don't need to put on an image, a facade of who we are not. Even my baby girl, I've told my wife, those people who are pulling her nose, they have a habit. Thai people believe you need to have a nice nose because their noses are flat. They are very ashamed about. They want light skin. They put, they go for surgery and they apply bleach and all that. I said, nothing doing. You're perfect the way you are. I don't want my baby to have surgery and look beautiful. I don't need you to look beautiful. Just be who you are. Normal, natural. I'm perfectly happy. That's why even if you see me, I wear simple clothes. Even she, simple clothes. We have things kept in priority, like what has to be focused on. So, bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you live in a society whereby people feel their pride go up and down based on your success or failure or whatever it is, those characteristics, it's better to stay away from those people, number one. Number two is you should know what you're worth. You should know what you're worth. Having more money doesn't make you a better person. Having less money doesn't make you a worse off person. Having said that, that doesn't mean you become a bum and you don't save anything, don't study anything, live like a loser and say, oh, my self-worth is great. No, don't live in a life of delusion. You need to have certain responsibility. Don't take things out of context. Okay? And last, if not the least, remember this one. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will like me. Not everyone will like everyone else. And if people say this person is shit and this person gives you bad advice, fine. Tell them, I agree with you. What is the solution? Who is the person? And don't close your eyes, ears, and mind to the solution they're offering. Try it out and see. Maybe they are right. Maybe there is something new you can learn from there. That is why in my groups, I have people who agree with me and disagree with me, but respectfully. Okay? And I always give them a chance to elaborate. There are people who support Hinduism or Islam or whatever, and I tell them, let's do it in a respectful, logical manner. You know, but please don't go around preaching your holy verses and all that bull. So this is what I want to tell you. And one last thing: whether you're proud of me, whether you're ashamed of me, whether you want to associate, don't want to associate, I just remember one thing. You know that girl who I told you, she was ashamed of showing me to her family, ashamed of showing me to her relatives, ashamed of what society would say. She was beautiful those days. This is around, I think, 15 years ago. She was very beautiful. She was very lovely. Today, she is 3 times the weight. She has developed a thyroid problem. And, she is a broken marriage. She lost all her money. Her parents lost all her money. Now she is an absolute failure. Now, I'm pretty sure, and it's funny, it's like before she was up, I was down. Now I'm up, she's down. I'm pretty sure she would love to associate with me. It's funny, how tables turn. So I'm not gloating over the fact, oh, very good, you deserve. No. You just lived in a very superficial world and now you're paying the price for it. So, in fact, the guy who she married, who she was so proud to show the whole world, see, I got married to this handsome hunk, and he dumped her and told her, how the fuck can I show anyone that I'm associated with you who's fat, ugly, and I know what you'll say, karma, but then again, I don't wish anyone anything bad. You bring shit on yourself. That's all I can say. Anyway, these are my thoughts. Let me know what are yours. Do your friends and relatives and people that you know say that they're ashamed of you or they don't want to get to know you or they don't want to acknowledge you? Let me know. Are you going through the same thing? And what are your solutions, suggestions? Put your comments, thoughts down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.